is Zach Guzman here with a special edition of Yahoo Finance Presents. Today we'll be focusing in on the cannabis sector with the world's largest cannabis company, that being Canopy Growth, and we are lucky to be joined by the CEO of Canopy Growth, David Klein. David, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, great to be here.
So I want to start with what you guys reported today in the latest quarter, wrapping up your guys' fiscal year. We'll start with the tidbits there and then get into your thinking for where this company goes from here as you head into a month, as you complete month 4 in the role of CEO. But for starters, what you guys reported, an interesting quarter, as you note, what's likely to be a transition year for you guys. Your market share fell, you missed revenue estimates, the sales came down quarter over quarter. You recorded a $743 million impairment and restructuring charge, but importantly, you did meet your guys' goal of delivering adjusted gross margins of 42%. So as you adjust these things and look to the future here, you also withdrew guidance for meeting your goals in terms of adjusted EBITDA and net income. So without those guideposts, how are you as the new CEO here coming in, adjusting and trying to figure out what your new guideposts will be in measuring your success moving forward?
Yeah, so I think the first point is we're really trying to build this kind of early stage company in a nascent industry for the long haul. And coming out of last fiscal year, so the fiscal year ended in March, our top line was up 76% year over year. And that's a number that we think we can replicate for the next several years going forward. And so I think that's a good starting point, because that starts to speak to, the things we need to do to address our gross margins in general, and how the rest of our expenses, flow through the business. So, for me, starting out with a growth business is important, and now we need to build on the fact that it's a fast-growing business.
Yeah, and the business is changing as well. You guys are rolling out new products as we get past Cannabis 2.0. Some of those products, importantly, are beverages there as you guys move into that space. You were kind of self-critical of the way that it took a little bit longer to roll those products out, but now making up a more substantial chunk of your guys' sales. So what are the expectations and hopes on the beverage front as you move from just launching to really driving that piece of the business forward?
Yeah, so to me, we have really good innovation capabilities in-house. The drinks that we have in the marketplace are really good. When we survey consumers who've tried them, over 75% of those consumers say that they would repurchase the product again, which is a very high repurchase rate. Interestingly, 20% of those people who say they would purchase the product again say that they would use it to replace an alcohol occasion. And so, the way I'm looking at it is that our drinks are better than seltzer, because we can make them taste really good. We can have 0 calories, 0 carbs, and a good THC effect that we can actually dial in based upon what the consumer wants to experience. So I think there's a lot of opportunity in drinks for Canopy.
Yeah, I don't want to get too far down the road here when we think about why Constellation may have invested in Canopy Growth in the first place. When you think about that, a company you used to work for as a giant alcohol company, and what the cannabis space might represent there. But what's the overall thinking? Of course, the deal's already in place for your guys' cannabis plans here in the U.S., but since it's such a larger market than Canada, what's the overall long-term thinking and kind of having these drinks come out in Canada, and what that might help Canopy be positioned for later on, as maybe potentially the cannabis market here in the U.S. progresses as well on a federal level?
Yeah, so that's really why I'm super interested in understanding the consumer in North America in particular, and driving this innovation, and whether it's drinks or other categories, because it's a bit of a trial ground. We need to test out our business model in general in Canada. We can test out our products in Canada, and then we actually have the right. Acreage has the right to bring our products to the U.S. as they see fit. So we have the ability to develop amazing products, and then Acreage brings them to the U.S. And then when we get to a federal permissibility event, we have the obligation to purchase Acreage, and it would be great to see all that come together.
It's obviously not happening right now since those are the laws, but when you look at the CBD front, as you guys noted on the earnings call, right now that is an opportunity you guys can capitalize on here in the U.S. And as you noted, a pretty large market, expected to be well over $20 billion by 2025. So when you look at that, you've got some brands already in the space. You've got First and Free, which we've noted. You have This Works. You know, BioSteel, a sports nutrition company, but this quarter, the last quarter, they saw revenue fall by about 20%, as you guys revealed. So when you look at the space, CBD is a very interesting but fragmented space right now. Even the leaders in that space have seen market share decrease over the last year or so. So how does Canopy invest in that space to really stand apart and not have the same issues that have plagued the other industry leaders in the CBD space?
I think it comes down to having outstanding products. And so we have great science behind our product, and we have a little more work going on in that area that can help enhance our products. More importantly, however, we need to clear the FDA hurdles as an industry, because once we can move into some of the big box retailers, we think we have a bit of an inside track to be able to get our products on the shelf, where topicals are actually doing fairly well. But those big box retailers are really not interested in touching ingestible CBD until we have broad FDA approval.
Would you say that that's been the biggest holdup then? Because your predecessor, Bruce Linton, had also made a pretty large goal in terms of the CBD space, saying that Canopy would be a leader in that space in terms of dollar sales. That necessarily has not even come close to being true. So is that really what's holding it up, or is there something else that you're looking to make progress on here as you move forward in the next fiscal year?
Yeah, it's getting products in the market. So we're launching several SKUs now. I mean, we put our first CBD products in the market just several months ago, right? So it's going to take a little while for us to get our products in the marketplace. But I do think the big unlock is FDA approval so that we can be everywhere in the U.S.